twins, possibly. So here he is, he's flying to the sun. He gets this idea, filled with this idea, and he then grabs a hold of this idea with his imagination, and he blows it out of proportion, way out of proportion, that the logical mind cannot even comprehend what's going on anymore. Imagination just made it a huge thing. And he knows he's going to be able to fly to the sun. He becomes determined. His enthusiasm takes over and pushes him into this experience. I'm going to fly to the sun. So he takes off towards the sun, and he flies higher and higher and higher. He flies so high that his mortal wings catch fire, and he falls back to the cold earth dead. Sorry. Some stories end that way. But you have to ask the question. Did he have to fail? What were his choices? Did he really have to fail? Couldn't his wings have taken him there? Maybe the attempt was all that was really what counts here. He might have made it. Sometimes those parts of us, our imagination, our faith, doesn't cut it. We fail anyways. Maybe that's okay. It's okay to fail, actually. I think it's the experience that really counts. And you can remember those things. So you might say, okay, which path would you choose? To just maybe not try it because it looks too hard, or to try the possibility of failing? So my advice to you is, so let's say, okay, let's give in. These people, your advisors are saying, don't do this. And so, they're wise. We will listen to them, and we will just follow in the path that everyone expects and not do this crazy thing. And so society steps in and needs support. Yes, that's right. Just follow us. But you got to ask yourself, where is the raw joy and safety in submission? Really. So my advice is to don't do that. Follow your dreams. They just might surprise you and come true. This is called risk-taking. Risk-taking. A good example of risk-taking is finding a mate, one that is perfect or nearly so. That's a challenge. That's probably the most adventuresome, risky business this world has to offer. And sometimes there is pain. That's part of the risk. Sometimes there is love. That too is part of the risk. The reward outshines any pain, any discomfort, any problems, because it's a passion. We're talking about passion here, and passion is a human possibility. It's something that's worth any amount of pain or any amount of risk to get it under your skin. What is that supposed to mean? Get it under your skin. It's just, I feel like falling with passion right now, and it's just there. And passion is, let me say it like this. Here's a quote. I'm going to quote the course. Lord, I'm misquoting it, so that's okay. I do that all the time. Passion is a miniature version of eternity, a picture of timelessness set in a framework of time. So think of passion as a window, something that you can look through to look into heaven, see what it's like there. Passion is the stuff that dreams are made of. So at fundamental level, passion is the stuff that life is made of. Now I have two stories to tell you. One is of Sisyphus. I hope I'm saying that right. If there's any people, Greek people here, I'm sorry if I offend you with my pronunciation. The other is of a fallen girl. Now, the Sisyphus was cursed by the gods to push this ponderous stone up the hill. All day long it took him. He was a big man, but that was a big stone, and he had to push it, rolling it up the hill. And when you get to the top of the hill, it just be sunset. And he'd let go of it and go, phew, I made it. And then the stone would roll back down to the bottom of the hill. And his curse was to do this every single day. That was his doom. And this repeated failure represented an unrewarded life of toil. When people just work and they don't feel any reward for it. And that was him. Who would want to do this? There's another girl, another person, the fallen girl. Oh, she is standing on top of a huge, tall skyscraper. And she's standing on the very edge looking down, and she can see down the 200 floors to the ground. And then she jumps off the skyscraper with her hands out like an orchestra conductor and falls. Now she's falling slower than you might think, because this falling represents her life. And as she passes the window, she has time to look through and see what's going on in each floor. In one floor, she sees a casino with full of people that are, all excited and thrilled with this experience. And the next floor, she looks in, and there's a painter painting a young boy who's trying to sit still. And on the canvas is a picture of a boy with an impish grin. What is an impish grin? Anyone think of what that is? You just have to look at a young 12-year-old boy and you know what an impish grin is. Well, her life, the way it stands, it's got its own set of problems. She's living life, but only by looking, never doing anything, just watching other people live. You know anyone like that? So here, by chance, these two characters have a conversation. And Sisyphus says to the girl, take my hand, let me pull you over here for a while. And she goes, no way, I'm not going to do that. Your ponderous stone would slow me down too much, and I want to fly. And he says back to her, but you are wasting your life just looking and not doing. And she goes, that's true. You're a doer, not a looker, but I cannot stand looking at your life. It is so mundane, so absurdly mundane. And you, no way. I am seeing all 200 floors of life. And all you have to look at your hands. All you have to show for your life is a few blisters. Well, he looks down at his hand, sighs, and goes back to his stone and puts his shoulder to the stone and gives his first push of the day. And she can hardly remember the stone pusher as she's falling and looking through, and there's champagne, and she wants a glass of champagne. She reaches in and she almost gets a hold of the glass to take a drink before she slips on by to the next floor. Now, that's the two stories. Sad but true. Imagine a world that is different from this one in every way possible, where this one offers despair, the other offers hope, where this one drains us of our vital energy, the other lifts us up and recharges us. Where this one is a world of competition and dog-eat-dog mentality, the other offers cooperation and community. Where this one is ruled by fear, the other is ruled by love. There are many names for this other world. Nirvana, that's Hindu. The Tao, Summerland, that's our own Western culture coming through. The Holy Instant, how about heaven? You've heard of that place? How do you get there? Where is this other world? Well, the masters throughout the ages seem to agree here on one thing, and that is that there's no road, no path that could be found to take you from this world to that other world. okay, they say that your world simply ceases to exist and the new world appears magically. No path, no method. There is no, so I have a different take on that. I say that there's no path between these two worlds because there's no division between them. We're already there. Nirvana surrounds us on every side. For nirvana is life, the passion for life. Now, Osho, maybe some of you know, he had an ashram right here in Oregon for a while. He said, it is in your heartbeat. It pulses in your blood. It is all over the place, in the flowers, in the rivers, in the stars. My admonition to you is to allow yourself to be possessed by life in all its forms, colors, dimensions, the whole rainbow, all the notes of music. That is the path. The road to this other world is so abundant that we fail to see it. So when I see this other world, I see it in the blue of the ocean. I see it in the fluffy clouds as they turn into heavenly jewels at sunset. Oh, I see it. And this is the best place. I see it in the eyes of my dear wife. You know, seeing this love and admiration that she reflects back to me and keeps me going. So let your passion for life transform this world into heavenly jewels. Let it surround you. Let it empower you. Let it embrace you. Let it be the eyes through which you see this marvelous world of art. Now I'm going to quote, and I have to give, that's funny. I'm going to quote John Willwood. Thank you, Ron, again. He's been peppering my mind with books and things. And so, but I like what John Willwood said here. Passion's essential nature is spontaneous and unconditional because it is unfabricated. Since our very being is open to begin with, it naturally resonates and wants to connect with what is greater than ourselves, the vastness of life itself. Passion is the feeling of life, wanting to connect with life. Life inside us, connecting with life outside. To fall in love with life is to feel the basic openness of our being. Our world simply disappears, and a new one, nirvana, appears. So risk-taking and passion for life is one way to open yourself up to this other world, which is different from this world in every way possible. They do this through personal growth. Now, this is actually the key message I'm finally getting to. Personal growth is the result of living your life fully, taking risks, taking every experience into your heart. And as you do this, you grow in every direction at once, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Now, who knows who Tintin is? Oh, one?
A dog? Rin Tin Tin?
No, Tintin.
It was
A journalist with a little dog named Snowy. Belgium cartoonist, I believe, and we have an English translation. And there was a movie made about Tintin a few years back. But anyways, my kids, I read these things to my kids. And there's one story, and the first story where it introduces some of the characters. And Tintin has been kidnapped, and he wakes up from whatever drug they gave him and whatever, and he finds himself in a room, and he can feel the sway of the floor. He feels that he must be at sea, so he finds the window. It's a portal, and he looks out and he sees the ocean down there, and the light is night. The light from the ship is shining down, and you can see the waves kind of, doing their thing. And he looks up, sticks his head out the portal and looks up, and he hears someone singing some long forgotten sea song, rather poorly, a drunken man, by the sound of him. So with some ingenuity and patience, he finds some rope and he lassos the hatch that is open with a portal above him. And he climbs up and he tumbles into the room and stands up, and there is Captain Haddock. And he says, "Oh, a rescue is imminent. I'm Haddock, Captain Haddock. And so I'm being held captive, you know." And Tintin goes to the door, towards the door, and the captain says, "Nah, don't bother. I'm being held captive. Me, Captain Haddock. My own ship. I'm held captive. There's no way getting out." So Tintin goes to the door anyways. He finds it open. Opens the door and looks back at Captain Haddock, like kind of like, "Okay. You think you're locked in here? You weren't. You're drunk, you know." And Captain says, I'm being held captive. I assume they would have locked the door. I mean, shouldn't they have done that?" So the moral of the story: are we being held captive in imaginary rooms or by imaginary locked doors? The passion is the key to unlocking those. Where does your life stand? At the top of the mountain, letting go of the rock at long last? Tired beyond endurance? Or trotting down the hill, knowing that soon the troubles and pain and difficulties of life will start anew? Or are you like the fallen girl, out of control, just falling past your life experiences? Somewhere in one of those floors, or perhaps many of them, opportunity is waiting. Fate, romance, the true inauguration of your life. There is another possibility. Enter that other world. Allow yourself to be possessed by the passion of life. I'm not talking about a magical life. I'm not talking about one of lofty proportions. I'm not talking about a perfect life. Anyone can endure a perfect life. I'm talking about just the same old life we're having now, just seen through a different set of eyes. Is anything perfect in this world? A student asked Emmanuel. He says, yes, 1,000 times yes, but your vocabulary of perfect will not be satisfied. You have images of what fear tells you perfection is. No, stand without fear, and you are perfect. Will you still be imperfect in your human personality? Oh, there'll be many that will tell you that's yes, definitely imperfect, but you won't care a single bit. I have one more story for you. I'll tell it in the first person, but this is a story by someone else from the book Art of Possibility. It's actually a wonderful book if anyone wants to read it. He was at the college and where he used to hang out. I think he was visiting there. Well, it doesn't say. But anyways, he's at a cafe. It's near his college. And he sits at the bar, and next to him is a man, and on second look, you see, so the man is homeless. He's got like $3 and some odd cents sitting out meticulously on the counter. Keep in mind, this is an old story, $3.55 or whatever. And he is about ready to order his hamburger, and the waitress comes up, and the man just waves at him as if to slow him down. Say, no, tonight you have whatever you want, and you will not pay a penny. And he goes, oh, what do you mean? Well, I'm going to buy your meal. No, yeah, I can't have you do that. And he sees, that's all the money this homeless man has in the world. And he's about ready to spend it on him. He just couldn't endure that. So he says, no, It's all on me. And she pushes, the homeless man pushes his money towards the indifferent waitress. Well, when the meal came, he was aware of every delicious bite of the hamburger, every sip of coffee. And he marveled because with a mere $3.50 this man had created a humane world brimming over with charity and abundance. Well, I've never been homeless, thank God. But it's not very far away. Anything can happen to any of us, to put us in a weird place like this. So this momentary universe, teemed with delicious smells from the grill. He could hear a couple chatting happily in a booth nearby. And he had the privilege being there and witnessing this. So he says the last part, oh, you can't, it's got to do something. So he goes, at least he can thank him. Thank you for the meal. And the man says, no, not at all. The pleasure is all mine. Now, what's the difference between this man's life and the life of Sisyphus? What would Sisyphus do if times get to be difficult? Or if something's out of routine? He sounded like something a little autistic with his pushing the stone and never stopping it, What if the routine changed? You know anyone that's autistic and you change the routine? What did they do? You don't like it. None of us like change actually, but does he just climb under his rock and wait till things get back to normal? Or what about the fallen girl? What if she looks through the windows and they started looking dangerous or scary? Does she just close her eyes and keep on falling? The homeless man did neither. He seemed to be celebrating that was invisible to the rest of us. That is because he is living in a different world, one we can't see. His world may not be perfect, but it doesn't seem to matter to him because he is feeling the passion of life flowing through him. What is flowing through you? Oh, getting down to the thing, huh? What difficulties lurk ahead in the darkness of your future? How will you navigate them? In what way will this lead to personal growth in every direction at once? Spiritual, physical, mental, and emotional. How will you find the peace that is hidden there? You want peace? Well, it's in that other world. The good thing is that other world is everywhere. Now, as Bilbo was in the habit of saying, it's a dangerous business, Frodo. Going out of your door, you step into the road, and if you don't keep your feet, there's no knowing where you might be swept off to. That's the end of my talk. I have a little music for you for meditation. That's the sound of one hand clapping. So let yourself relax, take some deep breaths. And while you're breathing today, feel the power